Something is wrong with Empire of Light, the new film from Sam Mendes, who has given us American Beauty, Road to Perdition, and the overrated 1917. It seems like the success of his last film gave him too much creative freedom, and what we've ended up with is a film that's out of control thematically and emotionally. This is the first film where he is the sole writer, and he seems to get lost in his own screenplay, unsure of where to place narrative beats to keep the momentum of the film moving. Empire of Light is about a movie theater in an English coastal town in the early 1980s. It's also about a woman named Hillary, played by Olivia Colman in yet another incredible role. She's a solitary person, older than most of her co-workers. She doesn't seem to be able to make much of a connection to any of them. She goes about her day working as the manager in the theater, but she never goes in to enjoy the films, refusing herself the enjoyment of the cinema she works so hard to ensure others experience. Olivia Colman gives a strong performance. She handles this strange screenplay well and creates a wonderful character in Hillary. We understand and sympathize with her. We even might see part of ourselves in her. A major issue is a lack of justification for the conflict her character faces, which should lead her to some sort of growth, but ultimately none of it ever seems to connect. We don't really know why she's sad. She just is. And when the film's drama really begins to ramp up near the end of the second act, the things we learn about Hillary in the previous 50 minutes get lost just for the sake of the drama, and we're left with not much to hold on to. While a character that doesn't have a major traumatic reason for their emotional state can be okay, it prevents any sort of emotional payoff by the end of the film, and we're left slightly apathetic when the film expects us to have an emotional breakthrough. The film is also about Stephen, played by Michael Ward, a young black man living through a turbulent and scary time in England. Skinheads are growing in numbers all around him, and it seems like the national zeitgeist is moving in a dangerous direction with the rise of the Thatcher era. Hillary and Stephen form a bond working together in the theater. They confide in each other when it seems like they have no one else, and they comfort each other in their times of trouble. While the film takes their friendship in an interesting direction, ultimately this plot doesn't seem to develop any more than that. Empire of Light is a movie about a lot of things. Too many, maybe. The issue isn't that the stories don't work. They just don't help each other propel the movie forward. The conservative wave that went over England in the early 80s is a mirror to the current state of America. The magic of the movies is a universal theme anyone can understand. The struggle to exist as a black person in this world is an issue that's widely talked about today. But none of these themes and ideas work together in any meaningful way in the film. One scene features Stephen telling Hillary that he worries about them being seen in public together due to people's possible reaction. Hillary takes this in a personal way, ignorant to the political climate that Stephen is actually referring to. The next scene features her crying alone in her apartment, and it's hard to feel sympathy for her, even though we should. But we've seen Stephen being harassed by skinheads earlier in the film. We understand where he's coming from, and the scene of Hillary in distress ends up leaving a bad taste in the viewer's mouth. Empire of Light's only Oscar nomination this year is for cinematography, and it's one of the film's strongest features. Roger Deakins has achieved a legendary status in the film world. He's basically a household name for anyone who takes film seriously. Few DPs are as recognizable, save for Emmanuel Lubezki after he swept the Best Cinematography Award 3 years in a row. Deakins is a master at creating enhanced natural lighting, where he can both make a scene look like one you've seen a million times before, but also bursting with meaning. No beam of light goes without consideration. Compliments aside, I feel like Deakins is working on autopilot in this film. It's impressive, yes, but it's everything we've seen before. The same soft, beautiful image from his trusted ARRI camera and lenses, the same dust. I worry Roger Deakins is going to become the Meryl Streep of the cinematography category, just getting nominated because he made a film that year. While immensely talented, I would even put his work on Empire of Light at the bottom of the list of the 5 nominees this year. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross deliver another evocative and arresting score. They are some of the best film composers working today. I feel like they had a better handle on the themes and emotions of the film than the director at times, mixing feelings of wonder and ennui seamlessly and enhancing the film whenever their music cued in. Their score emphasized the emotional states of our main characters so well. Without them, the film would have been in even more trouble. Sam Mendes has proven he's an incredibly competent director with a string of masterpieces behind him. This just happens to be his problem child. It's too lost in itself, too confused as to where it wants to go, and forgetting important things on its way to the conclusion. It wants to be so many things when it really should have focused on 1 or 2 of them. You can still see Mendes' talent in the film. He'll direct a scene beautifully, but then the next scene, while also handled with the care of a great director, will conflict with the previous one, and it ends up confounding the overall film. Empire of Light is undoubtedly the work of a master director. He spends the film struggling to wrangle in all of the meanings and messages peppered into the screenplay, but it's too much and too sloppy of a script. It's an issue of too many cooks in the kitchen, and it brings the overall result into the realm of the mediocre and, unfortunately, the forgettable.